Vice President and racist Care Bear J.D. Vance just got some bad news about his 2028 prospects, and no doubt he's at home pouting on the couch. Or maybe he's just there because it's close to Valentine's Day. Either way, all the details next, here on The David Reddish Show. Welcome to the show, beautiful Occupy Democrats viewers. To stay up to date on this and all other breaking news in American politics, remember to subscribe to the David Reddish Show channel now by following the link in the description. I know, I always hate when I see someone asking for subscribers on YouTube also. But look, my boss promised me a big celebration once we hit 500,000 subscribers, and we're almost halfway there. So if you need an excuse for a party that doesn't involve the Super Bowl, Valentine's Day, the Oscars, or anything else that reminds you that you're single, or that takes up 4 hours of your day, subscribe now. But okay, let's get back to furniture connoisseur J.D. Vance. You may recall he recently announced he was expecting his 4th child with his wife Usha. But more importantly, he lets his ambitions show. Vance wants to be president like a tick wants blood, so much so that he's even picking up endorsements with more than 3 years before the election. Did you catch this?
Erica Kirk, the widow of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, has endorsed Vice President J.D. Vance for president in 2028. Kirk made the announcement during the opening event at the Turning Point USA annual conference. That's the organization her late husband launched. She now runs it. Vance has not publicly announced whether he intends to run in 2028.
Yeah. That premature endorsement does nothing to squash rumors that Erica Kirk and J.D. Vance are having an affair. I mean, she does look like something I once saw at Rooms to Go, but never mind. And if you think this bodes well for J.D., think again. Stay with me here. Vance has said that he thinks Donald Trump wants to hand-pick the 2028 Republican ticket, and Trump's own remarks suggest as much.
This weekend, Secretary of State Rubio said that he thought J.D. Vance would be a great nominee. You could clear the entire Republican field right now. Do you agree that the heir apparent to MAGA is J.D. Vance?
Well, I think most likely, in all fairness, he's the vice president. I think Marco is also somebody that maybe would get together with J.D. in some form. I also think we have incredible people, some of the people on the stage right here. So it's too early, obviously, to talk about it, but certainly he's doing a great job, and he would be probably favored at this point.
So how is this bad for J.D. Vance? Getting there. What's interesting is that Trump, in that clip from last summer, predicts that Vance and malfunctioning Disneyland animatronic Marco Rubio would run on a ticket together. That's hilarious considering the mounting evidence that the two men can't stand one another. See our other videos for more on that, though suffice it to say, Vance is in the pocket of billionaire weirdo Peter Thiel, and he often clashes with Rubio on policy issues. Rubio has already run for president multiple times himself and desperately covets the job. Thus far, however, he's had trouble getting a foothold in GOP primaries. That, however, could be changing, much to Vance's chagrin. Check this out. Journalist Tom Robluski, writing for local Staten Island outlet SI Live, has put together a detailed analysis of the odds of Vance getting the nomination based on the online betting site Kalshi. At present, Kalshi shows that 18% of those wagering on the race believe that Secretary of State Marco Rubio will be the GOP candidate for president in 3 years. That's up by 7% in just a month. Vance's numbers, meanwhile, put him at 46.7% probability, a drop of almost 4% in a month. Robluski notes that the 50% threshold is seen as an important indicator of support in popularity polling, including for elected officials and candidates. In other words, Vance isn't gaining popularity with voters, he's losing it. Robluski's analysis comes just a week after pollster Sarah Longwell published her own findings on Politico, revealing that young voters don't want to see Vance on a 2028 ticket. Rubio fares consistently better in Longwell's polling, particularly among young men. No doubt that will have Rubio jumping for joy just as soon as Disneyland maintenance comes to fix his hydraulics. But there's an even bigger issue here. Donald Trump remains deeply unpopular, and both Vance and Rubio have married themselves to his administration. Should that trend continue, both men will have severe problems with the American electorate come 2028, much as George W. Bush dragged down Republicans in 2008. And let's be real, Neither Vance nor Rubio has the attention-getting ability of Trump, and their charisma deficits will do nothing to unite the party. So my prediction? Americans will want to turn the page on this administration sooner rather than later. And my advice to Vance and Rubio? It's not too early to find work as a furniture salesman. Don't you think Vance would just love that gig? This is The David Reddish Show.